There is a positive side when it comes to your healing journey. A lot of times, so many people are so focused on the negativity and what they lost and who they used to be and how certain things affected them psychologically, emotionally, physically, financially. And it's not to say that that was in vain or that your feelings are not valid, but you need to know that if you've gone through certain things in life and you were given the opportunity to move forward, one, you are able to survive, and two, you're able to change and you're able to do things differently. So with that being said, welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance, and that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it doesn't apply, then that means it's not aligned, which means that it's not for you, so don't force it. As well as grab your pens, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes. For the month of May, we have been going over and discussing how nothing in life is going to stay the same, which means nothing in life is going to last forever. But for today's video specifically, we're going to go over and discuss the positive effects of healings, as well as what you should be mindful of and appreciate as you're becoming the best version of yourself, as well as some recommendations, some reminders, some disclaimers, and certain things to be aware of. And if you see me looking over, you guys, it's literally because I have my notes right in front of me. So starting off with the introduction, starting off with the first disclaimer, you need to know that yes, you did go through the trials and tribulations, but it's not the end of the day. And the reason why that's the first disclaimer, and the reason why it's so important for you to write that down and take the time to process that, is because a lot of times when you go through so many trials and tribulations, you think it's in the world, when actually it's just a moment. And in those moments, there's something that you were supposed to learn, there's something you're supposed to gain, or there's something you're supposed to let go. Once you realize that in life you're meant to flow and be abundant and not have so many burdens and feel so heavy, you will learn when to keep certain things, when to let go of certain things, and when just to accept things for what they are. So the second disclaimer is knowing that some days are going to be better than others. You have to learn how to go with the emotions. Just like the seasons and the weathers are going to change, so are you. So are the people, so are the places and things. You're here to evolve. You're here to grow. Growth is only uncomfortable when you don't realize that you need to do things differently, or you're afraid to do so. So you have to realize that change is inevitable and that you only have 24 hours physically, allegedly, in a day. So what you're able to do, you don't have to rush. You don't have to feel overwhelmed. You don't have to overwork yourself. And most importantly, you have to stop comparing yourself. Everybody does not live the same life as you. Everyone doesn't go what you go through. Everyone doesn't know how you feel. So number 3, you have to learn how to be present. You have to accept what you have and what you've lost. Why? Because if you lost something, unless you're able to replace it, it's gone. It's done and over with. Now, of course, I'm speaking from experience. This does require you to do repetitively, consistently, and it could take months, years, and days. Healing is not a one size fit all. This is why you make sure you guys are liking, sharing, commenting down below, and booking your service in your session. So the fourth disclaimer is knowing that as you're learning to let things go, as you're realizing that you can only do so much, as you're realizing that life is going to change, it's so important for you to allow yourself to go through the emotions. So because some days you may be struggling and some days you may be doing well, allow yourself to feel that in that day. Like, you have to learn how to regulate your emotions when you're going through certain things, so therefore you don't continue to hold on to them. The only reason why a lot of times you continue to struggle and suffer is because you have not gone through the emotions, you have not processed what has happened to you, and you have not acknowledged it and accepted for what it was. Until you understand why you had to go through certain things, and until you're honest about how you feel, you're not going to be able to move forward. And this is why you feel anxious. This is why you're depressed. This is why you still have PTSD from people and places and things that are no longer in your life. This is why you're so angry. So the fourth disclaimer is knowing that you have to be vulnerable. You have to be accountable. You have to be honest. It's nothing embarrassed or ashamed, nothing for you to be ashamed of, when you talk about what you've gone through. Because it's like, once you talk about it and you start to come up with solutions and you hold yourself accountable, you are going to move forward. Now, of course, is it going to be immediately? It may or may not be. You still have to show up despite what you go through in life. And I'm speaking from experience. What has helped me along my healing journey was to realize that just because I go through certain seasons or certain chapters doesn't mean that it's the end. Like, it's only the end when you don't, like I said, acknowledge what it is that you needed to gain, that you had to let go of, or what you need to accept for what it was. So the first recommendation in order for you to do this is to realize everything that you went through from your past. I need you to write it down or put it in the comment sections and out loud. Talk about what happened to you that was so traumatic, that you thought was so, you were never going to be able to let go of, and why. And take your time doing this. What did you go through? Were you touched on? Were you sex trafficked? Were you beaten? Were you abused? Were you bullied? Were you broke? Were you homeless? Were you ganged up on? Like, what was it? How did it make you feel? And why did you feel like you were not able to move past it? Once again, healing is not a one size fit all. You may not be able to do this exactly in a day, but it's like you need to be able to face it. It's nothing to be afraid of because it already happened. It already happened. And number two, briefly, as I'm passing the second recommendation, you have to be able to confide in somebody. You may have to go to a therapist. You may need to see a psychiatrist. You may need to find somebody that you can trust and confide in. You may need to journal. You could book a service in a session. Make sure you guys are following me, liking, and engaging. You may have to go to God, answers to the universe, if you believe in that. I'm not here to force religion or spirituality, so take what resonates with the rest. You have to be able to really be real about what it was. You have to be able to sit with yourself. You have to be able to separate yourself, because if you are continuing to be around certain people, places, and things, and you're continuing to be in environments where you're not growing or things are draining you, you're just going to feel like you're stuck and stagnant, and that's not the situation. You have to be able to discern if you genuinely feel that way about yourself, or was that something that you were taught and shown. So it's like, if you grew up in poverty and you feel like it's impossible for you to be wealthy, you have to realize that that's all you knew at that time. But just because you were taught and shown poverty, or you live paycheck to paycheck, or you didn't eat every single day, doesn't mean that your entire life has to be like that, which leads us into the third recommendation, or similar to the second recommendation, excuse me. You need to be able to seek assistance, so therefore you can come up with solutions. Like, if you're not able to help yourself, you're gonna have to go find help. And you don't have to feel embarrassed. You don't need to feel weak. And if you're doing everything that you can, which you have the resources and the tools, like, you don't have to have trillions and millions of dollars. This is why I make these videos for free. So make sure you guys are liking, commenting, engaging, because that's all I'm asking you to do, okay? Like, that's not too much, all right? Or like, you're on YouTube. You have Google. You have the internet. You can go to the library. There's no excuse for you to figure out, how can I do this? How can I do that? This is why, like, if you're here, like, girl, don't be scary. Don't be scared. Don't worry about people judging you in the comment section. Like, engage. Ask questions. When people are providing information and you like the videos, because you know you like the videos, you always be watching, you always be having your notifications on, just let me know, girl. I'm not going to bite you, okay? I'm not going to bite you as long as you don't bite me, okay? You have to realize, like, if you don't seek assistance, you're going to lose your mind. And it doesn't have to be me, but obviously it is me because you're watching this video. So make sure, like, once again, you're liking, commenting, engaging, so I know what we need to talk about. But it's like, you need to be able to seek assistance if you're not able to solve problems yourself, because that's the only issue. A lot of you weren't taught and shown how to solve problems. So, like, when you go through things, you think it's the end of the world. And I'm speaking from experience. I've had to teach myself a lot of things because I too did not have the resources. I have something in my eyes. Oh my gosh, you guys. I have something in my eye and it's driving me insane. I had to learn certain things because I did not have... you guys see it? It's eyelash. I didn't have certain resources or certain tools or certain guidance. But just because I didn't have certain resources or certain tools or certain guidance, and I had to learn things by myself, didn't make me less of a person. And you have to realize that that's the third thing. Like, you're not less of a person because you had to struggle or suffer and figure out things by themselves. A lot of people can't even go through their own issues. So the third disclaimer, or the fourth disclaimer, because I lost count, is like, when you're venting to people and you're seeking help, don't make anyone make you feel bad about you expressing yourself. I've met a lot of, like, ugly people inside who did not express themselves. So, like, when I would sit here and talk about how I felt, people would sit here and try to make it seem like it's not a big deal. And it is a big deal. It is an issue. Because that eyelash was bothering me so much, I literally had to pause the video. But I meant to say third recommendation. We're currently on the third recommendation. And to follow up as I go into the fourth recommendation, before I get into that, don't feel bad about you talking about your feelings. Like, now, if you grew up in an environment where that wasn't a thing, you have to realize that shame that you feel, that guilt, is not yours. And it's not fair for you to suppress how you feel just because other people are uncomfortable. And I'm a firm believer in that. Like, so many people who are not happy with themselves want other people to feel that way. And it's like, no, I've never been bullied. Like, I've had people talk about me behind my back. I've had people do like shady stuff, people throw shade and like be passive aggressive, but it's like nobody ever said anything to my face. And it's just like, once again, just because people are miserable doesn't mean that you have to feel that way about yourself, because I refuse to feel miserable. Like, are you about to be miserable in 2026, or whenever you're watching this? Let me know. Or are you gonna be like, girl, boy, they, she, we, step aside? What do we look like dimming our lights just because people are not at peace with that? That's on them. And that's why you need to send and share this video, because you know people are like that. And instead of getting so worried about people not being there for you, or you having to learn certain things yourself, or you having to be isolated, or you feeling like, God, why me, whatever, just accept that, you know what, everything is not for everybody. And if people don't have the capacity, if people can't get to know you without judging you or making you feel bad, or they don't want to help you, you shouldn't want them around you anyways. One of the best things that I've learned out of the 29 years of my life is that when someone does not want to help me, I don't need to feel any type of way. But for me, you guys, I've learned this at an early age, because I've had people, quote unquote, close to me withheld support. And you would think, oh my gosh, why wouldn't that person help you? Because when people are not happy with themselves, they don't want to see other people happy. And instead of me feeling like, oh, no one wants to help me, no one wants to support me, people are always watching me, I said, okay, you don't want to help me? Now you have to stand on that eternally. Like, I'm the type of person, once you make up your mind about me, that is it. So if it's wrong, it's false, it's a lie, it's a rumor, or you wanted to misunderstand me, you have to take that energy in this life, in the next life, in the afterlife, forever. You're gonna have to stay there, because it is ignorant to judge somebody without getting to know them. You are not better than them for believing lies and not seeing people for who they are. And you're not better than people because you feel like you have degrees. Anybody can have access to education if they have the finances and the assistance and the courage to get the information. The information is not new. A lot of people study certain things. Now, of course, does everyone want to go to school and be educated and further education? No, but you're not better than them. There are multiple ways to learn. You're not better than people because you have millions and trillions of dollars. Money is printed. It's made out of cotton and linen. It's not that rare. Once again, the only people who think it's a big deal are people who don't realize that it's printed. You're not better than people because you have people wanting to support you. A lot of times people support mediocrity. So when you are a follower, it's easy for other people to follow you. When you're authentic, when you're genuine, and people are not, of course you're going to be the lone one out. Don't feel bad if people want to exclude you because you don't match the vibe. You're never going to be less than a person when you're being yourself and you're being honest and truthful about how you feel and how certain things affect you. So the fourth recommendation is knowing that you need to learn what you no longer want to resonate with and what's for you and what's not, because it's like, you did survive, you did go through all these trials and tribulations, you did see certain things, you did witness certain things, you did experience whatever you experienced. So what? Don't allow that to determine or deteriorate your perspective when it comes to your life and yourself, because it's like, a lot of times when you witness certain things in life and they're quote unquote negative, if certain people went out their way to like do the things they did to you, they want you to feel like that. Like, a lot of people went out their way to, like I said, withhold support and gossip, and they wanted me to be like them, and that was never gonna happen. I feel like Nicki Minaj, they did everything in their power on purpose. It was never meant for me. And you have to realize that when something's not for you, it doesn't matter. So what? People are going to spread lies and rumors and gossip. As long as you know you're not like physically in danger, let them say what they need to say. Like, that's their job. And it's like, instead of them hating or instead of people not being there for you, people can learn. Like, I make these videos for free because I genuinely like care about myself and I care about the people around me. I'm not the only person talking about mental health in the world. I'm not the only person talking about healing. Now, of course, the way that I do it, yes, nobody can do what I do, and that's the same thing with you. So it's like, it's no competition, there's no comparison. But it's like, if people can't assist you, inform and educate you, don't be there. And that's why it's so important. Like, when you guys are supporting people, support them because you are grateful for them. Support them not just because you're able to get something from them, because you're not going to get anywhere when you try to take advantage from people or take from them, but because they make you feel some type of way. And that's why I always tell you guys, ask questions, let me know what resonates, let me know what you need to talk about, and don't be like embarrassed or ashamed. You want community, you want to live a life, then you have to put yourself forward. And that's the final recommendation. Once you accept who you're not and you accept what you went through, you get to decide how you want to move forward. You get to decide what you're tolerating, what you're not. Like me personally, because like I said, I've experienced this my entire life. It's nothing new. Like I know, I've always known who I was. I always know who I am, and I do things at my own pace. Because once again, if I don't have certain resources, certain tools, I'm not about to sit here and complain about it. It's just gonna take longer, and you have to realize that. Now, of course, I am an Afro-Indigenous woman, so like I have friends on the other side, so I'm never alone. But like if you don't have the finances and you don't have the resources, if you don't have like God, ancestors, and universe, it's gonna take you some time. Like you don't need to feel like you're far behind in life because you're having to learn life for the first time. Like this is your first time living as you in this reality. And I know a lot of people like to be like, oh, in your past life, and we're not in the past life, we're in the current reality, and what's important is what happens now. But the longer you hold on to like memories that you need to process, accept, and evaluate from, the more you're going to continue to feel like your life is not going to change. And of course, speaking from experience, because I do this daily, because mental health is not something you just do for a day. It's honestly your entire life, depending on your evolution and where it is that you want to be in this life. You need to really just be thankful. Just be thankful, be grateful, because it's like you're not in these situations. Nothing in life is going to last forever. And it's like the more you practice this, the more you will get to this level. Okay? So I love you. You're loved. Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys are liking, commenting. Follow me on all my social media platforms. If I haven't plugged it in, I feel like I plugged it in 3 times, but it's just like, you're here, girl, or they, or she, or we, or boy, whatever you are. Okay? Follow me on Instagram, on TikTok. If you guys want me to go live talking about this, drop the word live. If not, book your 6% session. But I love you. You are loved. You're not alone. Until next time, thanks for watching. Peace.